Paige defends the Divas Championship against Naomi, and they ended up having actually a really good match, I thought. And of course, it's not match of the year or anything like that. I'm not going to be, comparing this to fucking Royal Rumbles in the past or something like that. But surprisingly, this was not one of those shitty Divas matches that you should just skip. And I don't know if that was because they put it in a different spot of the card, because this came out the second match instead of being the one right before the kill me kind of spot before the main event.
And the fans still didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. I don't know. I tend to believe more that it was just these two knew what they were doing. Because I think if you were to throw out Cameron there, it wouldn't have happened. A lot of people like to make the argument that, oh, if you give them more time, they'll do what they're supposed to do. Nah, that's not it. Because if you are a good wrestler, you can wrestle a 5-minute match and have a good 5-minute match. Mm-hmm. And if you're a bad wrestler, you can wrestle for a fucking hour and still not have anything good.
I think the problem is that for a lot of these divas, we really don't know what they can do, because I do think time length does make a difference, because if you look at stuff like Emma, for instance, if you've seen the stuff on TV with her and Santino, the matches she's been in, you'd never know that she was as great of a wrestler as if you watched her NXT stuff, and that's because they don't give her much to do. I do think time does make a difference.
I disagree. I think, here's the thing. Tony's right on the point where if you can have a great 5-minute match, if you're good enough, you should be able to have a great 5-minute match. And the issue is these people don't know what they can do with the ring, and it's not because of having the time to do it. Is none of their moves or signature moves are over. Tell me, I'd be surprised if most of you guys can tell me each Diva's finishing move and setup move and all that shit. The fans have got nothing to pop for because they don't know what the fucking finish of a match is going to be, or what's meant to be teasing a finish of a match. They haven't invested enough, not so much wrestling time into them, but character development time into these people, so why would anyone give a fuck?
It doesn't help that 9 times out of 10, most matches are ended with a roll-up, which I know must annoy most people.
Oh, Peyton loves them.
I can tell you what the finishing move for each Diva in this match was, though, so there's no excuse there for that.
What's Naomi's? Is it that ass thing?
The rear view.
I thought that her finisher was that moonsault.
Bubble butt.
I don't know nothing about that.
Oh, that split leg bounce off the ropes thing she does that RVD used to do.
I guess there is an excuse.
She did it during the match, but she didn't pin her after it though.
Well, either way, I mean, I thought that this was actually a pretty good match, and I'm a little bit disappointed that they did the AJ thing now. We talked about it on the Raw post show. I think that they missed an opportunity here to do a triple threat with the two Funkadactyls and Paige, and then do AJ Lee versus Paige at SummerSlam. But what do you guys think? Drew, was this a good match? Or was it just a match?
It was a match, but I will say it was a good match. But I wasn't really paying attention to much of the match. I wasn't like, oh my god, on the edge of my seat, got the popcorn, about to go crazy when I see that pin. No, I was paying attention to the commentary and what Cameron was doing on the side, because that was the only thing they kept on talking about, like how into the match and how out of the match he was in at times. I thought it was like that's interesting. But yeah, it was a good match. I will give props where props are due. For like the 2 minutes it was good. Good for them.
Way to go.
It was a Raw. It's what they should be doing on Raw, and I think the people are singing this match's praises because they're so used to being shoveled shit. So I'm not gonna go, oh, this is so great. It was an average match, and this is what should be expected more often.
You go.
I agree. It was good by comparison. I think that it's so unfortunate that they weren't able to pull the trigger on a Naomi title run back in WrestleMania, because that's one of the things I'd heard was planned before Naomi went down with her eye injury. At this point now, I wasn't expecting her to win it, but she went out there and put on a pretty solid performance. I think she's definitely got a better future in that division than most of the other Divas they've got floating around, at least most of them that are part of that Total Divas roster. So I think this was a pretty solid showing for both of them.
And Peyton?
This was a fantastic match. One of the best Divas matches of the year. Once again, Paige giving a Diva what I would say is the best match that they've had of their career 2 months in a row. So Paige, I think, when this goes down match-wise, has had a very good title run, and it's a shame that it was cut short because I think there was a lot more time that should have been invested into it. even in this story alone, I mean, you have this thing going down. Like you said, you could have had a triple threat. You could have had Paige go against Cameron on the next people. Whatever you decide you want to do, you could continue this going on down the line. And now it's just kind of in disarray, which is fine too. I mean, it's good to have intrigue with that. But I don't know. I think Paige has showed that she can carry this division when need be, and I think that's going to spell very well for her in the future when she gets a little bit more developed in people's eyes. For now, her and Naomi are just going to have to take a back seat for the returning AJ, which I think is kind of disrespectful because they went out there and had this pretty badass match that the crowd liked. I don't know what Wago's saying. The crowd was really into this. I'm rewatching this now, and the crowd is reacting to all these moves and crazy moves that you don't see in Divas matches. I don't know how you can say this is stuff that should just be on Raw every week or anything like that.
No, what I'm
I
saying
just
is
watched
this
Naomi
quality
do a
should be
plancha.
expected.
You expect Divas to be doing planchas every week on
No,
Raw?
I'm saying they should be expected to be delivering this quality. We get this from male athletes, and I don't think the excuse that, oh, they're women is a fucking excuse. The quality of this match is being overpraised just because people are so used to getting shit. I expect a lot better.
His standards haven't been lowered by years and years of being dumped on the Divas division.
I don't really know what you're expecting. They really pulled out all the stops in this match that they could without bringing ladders into the mix or something. I think these girls went out there and did the best that they absolutely could. I am also a firm believer that you do need more time to tell a better story. It's all about pacing, and when you don't have the ability to put that pacing in there, everything gets rushed and it's going to be mishmashed. So being in a better spot has helped. The crowd was more into it because they only had one match beforehand, and I think that's what they need to do with these more often. If you need to have something in that death spot, do another comedy kind of match, and that's what they did. They actually combined a Divas match and a comedy match in that spot, and it worked out all the better.
You said rear seat with the Diva with a matchup with Naomi.
He did.
On that note, we're going to move on to the next match. Adam Rose versus Damian Sandow. Stay tuned, everybody.